So, question, right? Question. Have you ever deliberately chose the uncertain path? Have you ever chose the path that was so unlikely to do? No way. Emily Hahn. I have deliberately chosen the uncertain path whenever I had the chance. I have deliberately chosen the uncertain path whenever I had the chance. But that's the thing. A lot of us, we're so typical. We're so normal. We're so average, right? We want the easy way out. We will choose the easy way, right? We will choose the easy way because it's more convenient. It's just easier, right? But some of us, we don't choose that uncertain path. Some of us, we don't choose those paths that we don't really pay a second mind to. But if you think about it, why not? I know a lot of us, we don't want to get out of our comfort zone. We don't want to step into some unknown territory. I understand that. But the thing is, what do you do from here? Thing is, where do you go from here? Thing is, where are you at with your journey, with your life right now, right? That's the thing. Where are you at right now? Because a lot of us, don't get me wrong, a lot of us, we continue to fight, we continue to move on. Some of us are choosing these harder paths because we know that's what God would want from us. And we know that God's there for us too. We're not choosing these easy paths because no, we're trying to grow. We're trying to challenge ourselves. We're trying to do something amazing. We're trying to do something very, very different, right? And know what? I understand. Shoot, I choose the easy path at times too. And I know you do. I know people that do. And it's okay. But sometimes we need to challenge ourselves and choose those uncertain paths just to see how we handle it. See our true grit. And if we gotta rely on God, we gotta rely on God. Know what? No, scratch that. You will rely on God. You will. I promise that. I don't focus on what I'm up against. I just don't. I'm focusing on my goals. And I ignore the rest. Come on. See, you know what? You don't need to worry about what you're up against. You don't need to worry about the opposition. You don't need to worry about... Venus Williams. I don't focus on what I'm up against. I focus on my goals. And I try to ignore the rest. I don't focus on what I'm up against. I focus on my goals. And I try to ignore the rest. Those around you. Focus on your goals. Focus on yourself, right? You know what? If you come across an obstacle that's literally in your way, then you knock it down and you keep moving. But you don't worry about it. You don't worry about the things that will prevent you from doing amazing things. You don't need to worry about any of that. Why? Because you know what? This is the reason why. Be you, continue to be you, continue to do what you do. Continue to keep fighting, continue to keep doing you, right? See, that's the thing. A lot of us, we tend to worry too much. We tend to focus on certain things a little bit too much. And what does that do for us? That allows us to drop our guard. That allows us to not be as focused as we should be, right? See, all these different things that we do all should not keep us from the end goal. Keep us from the motivation that we have. Keep us from the drive that we have. Keep us from the destiny, the destination, the mission, all these different things, whatever word term that you want to use. Don't worry about what you're up against. Focus on your goals. Ignore the rest. Keep moving forward. Keep doing what you gotta do. Don't worry about other things. I promise you, those other things, they're just things. They ain't doing nothing for you, right? They ain't doing nothing for you. So go ahead and keep moving forward. Keep fighting on. That's what you need to do. That's what you need to do, is to keep moving on. Don't worry about the opposition. I promise you. Now, this is a tough question. Why are we so afraid to care so much? Honestly, it's because we're scared of the rejection. We're scared that we're not going to get that same care back, that they ain't going to care. Eleanor Roosevelt. We are afraid to care too much for fear that the other person does not care at all. We are afraid to care too much for fear that the other person does not care at all. The way that we do. We feel like it's one-sided. The way our feelings are, the way that we present ourselves, the way that we carry it is going to be way different. It's not going to be met the same way. The expectations are too high. We already assume that they are going to fail and that they're going to let us down. See, that's the problem, right? We are letting fear dictate to us whether we're going to show this incredible amount of care and love to people because we're too scared that we're not going to get it back. You know what? Sometimes we may not get it back. The energy that we put out, we may not receive it back. That fear is holding you back from being the better person. You cannot control how they respond, how they interact, how they carry themselves. So this fear of like, man, I'm too scared to go and do that. I understand that, but the thing is, you're not gaining nothing from it. What you are losing though is you're losing an opportunity to grow. You're losing an opportunity to show who you are, to show your love, to show your care, because you are too scared to show that care to somebody because you're too scared that they ain't going to show it back. Now what they may not. That's kind of just taking a gamble and going into the unknown and be like, okay, well, let's see if this works. I don't know. It may work, it may not. Right? So I think that's the big thing is we gotta get past that fear. We gotta start showing that care, showing that love, because if we don't, we're doing ourselves a disservice. We're doing God a disservice because He wants us to go out there to love one another, right? And if we're letting fear dictate to us whether we're gonna do that or not, that ain't good. So I hope that you enjoyed this podcast. I hope that you enjoyed it to the fullest. And know what? Without further ado, I'm going to have to bid y'all adieu. If you ain't following us, do that too. If you ain't subscribed to us, do that too. And know what? Till next time, salute.